Hi, Meg here. Question 4 is deceptively profound. Is that the right way around? I mean, it looks quite straightforward, but actually it's there's a lot more to it than there seems to be. And it's one of the ways that if you want people to take action, it's really important for you to think about, and also it mitigates some of the danger of dehumanizing people, which can also lead to strangeness in the way that you do your presentation. So question number 4 of the 4 presentation planning questions that we're looking at is, what's important to these people? What do they need and value? There's probably 2 aspects to this. One is what do they need and value in connection with your topic? What do they need and value what's important to them if you're connected with the recommendation you're making? And the second thing is, what's important to them as humans? And that's one of the key places to look. Let's go through both of those in order. But connected with your presentation, it's really important that you think about it from their perspective and go, what do they need and value? And if you go straight away to money, that can be a really important factor, but it's almost never the only factor. So it's important that you go a little bit deeper and think about, in the context of their job role, the hats that they're wearing, what kind of things are important to them. And also think, if you want them to take the recommendation, sometimes you have to think about, how does it look for them in terms of their reputation, their stability, them looking good, them feeling like they're doing a good job. It's important to remember that those are things that they need and value. Also, coming down a level of granularity, think what's important to them in this type of presentation. The thing that senior people often say to me is, more junior people come to me and they just don't tell me what they want. Just tell me what you want, because they don't have time to process this massive amount of information. And so one of the things you need to be thinking about, what is one of the things that's important to them? Brevity, or being concise and relevant. And almost that's important to almost anyone. Very rarely has anyone criticised someone for doing a presentation that was too short. If you're able to put together your ideas in the most concise way possible, with your eye on the time, that can really make a huge difference in terms of people listening to you. So make a list. The second aspect is what's important to them as human beings. And there are certain things that are really important to all human beings. We really want our health. We want our loved ones looked after. We want to be doing good in the world. We want to know that our lives are steady enough that we can make some plans. Some people really like challenge, some people really like safety, most of us are somewhere in the middle. So thinking through the aspects of what's important to them as human beings, and really, I would say, just spend a few quiet moments and go, with their hats off, that the roles that they're playing, what's important to them as humans? What's important to you as a human? Because the danger is, with question 1, when we were thinking about the categories of people who are going to be there, is sometimes we may start thinking about people as categories. I'm talking to engineers, I'm talking to investors, I'm talking to people in the city, I'm talking to lawyers. And talking to a category of person can mean that you're not talking to human beings, and that then means that your manner can be a bit strange, off. Whereas if you remember that these are human beings, it does something really powerful sometimes to the way that you speak, because you're much more able to talk from your heart to their heart, even if you don't really talk about, I know it's a bit woo-woo, even if you don't talk about you don't link your recommendation to their higher purpose, but just remembering that they care about that, that they probably aren't living the life that they thought they were going to be living when they were 12, and they're probably worried about aging parents and maybe the health of the people around them. They're worried about how their body is and the stack of books that they're not reading. Like, remember that they're people. There's a danger here, though. If you come across Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's bandied around a lot, and in a way that I think Maslow didn't really intend it to be. But Google it, Maslow, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Down at the bottom, he says there's a hierarchy of needs, and down at the bottom are things connected to physical needs, food and shelter. Somewhere in the middle are things around respect and status, and then towards the top are things around self-actualization and being a good person. The danger is, if I gave you a job spec and I said, why would you take this job? You would go, oh, well, I'm doing it because I want to be a good person in the world, and it really fits with my sense of purpose. And if I go, why would those people go for this job? You would go, oh, they want it because respect is really, or status is really important to them, and it means that they're going to have a better job title. So what happens, which we have to guard against, is we stand at the top of our Maslow tower as people who are really concerned about self-actualization, and we look down in the Maslow gutter at all the plebs around us. But actually, if I ask them, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to be looking down on you. So remember that all of those things in Maslow's hierarchy are happening at once. Pretty much everyone wants to be doing a good job and feeling like they're doing the right thing in the world. There are very few people who are doing things deliberately badly because they want to cause harm. They think they're doing the best in the world, and the more you can remember that, the more you're able to be more human as you're talking. So question 4 is super important for you to think about. And then as you're doing your presentation, you're overtly linking to the things that are important by the stories you choose, by the rest of the ingredients, which we're going to talk about in the next few videos, that you're able to be choosing things that really resonate with people. And the more that you can show how your recommendation is going to give people more of what they value, and not following your recommendation is going to give them less of what they value, the more naturally they're going to want to follow your lead, ask questions, and begin to take action. So that's the 4th question. Next video, I'd want to give you a bit of thought about, once you've gone through all these 4 questions, what next? What becomes immediately obvious, and how do you begin to process things around sequence? And then we're going to talk about some different ingredients that your presentation you need to consider putting into your presentation. So that's question 4. Click whatever you need to make sure you get the next video, and I'll see you in the next one.